Hello everyone, it's Unit 13 here on Scene at the Homestead. I'm going to do a quick install of this Boss Strong Box that was designed for use with a Toyota 4RUNNER. It's being installed in a 2017. Got all the parts laid out here. Make sure I got everything that I'm supposed to have. Behind me here is the rug. They're sitting out in the sun so it'll lay flat. This is trail4runner.com. And these guys installed this strong box here. I'm going to follow their instructions because when I looked at this and then I looked at the instructions that came with the product, they're already missing a few steps that these people here put in, and they're sharing their experience. So I'm going to follow what these guys did. The other thing I want to note about this is that all of the places, there are no nuts for this. All of the screws go directly into the frame here. So, a couple of words of caution for that. One, don't cross thread it. Take your time, get it right, and then don't over tighten it, you'll strip it. Next thing that I did after taking the parts out of the box, when I unpacked it, is slide it over to the back of the 4Runner there. And leaving it in the box, I slid it out of the box into the truck. It was pretty easy to do by myself. It would have been a lot easier to do with somebody else. I had recorded the process, but must have knocked the tripod when I was doing it, so I recorded the yard. I'm going to slide this box out enough so that it passes the rim of the door there where the seal is. That way I can have easy access to the sides and use a full-size screwdriver instead of a stubby to install this D-ring here on both sides so that the turnbuckle will have something to connect to. It takes a couple minutes to install the D-rings on both sides on the front side of the drawer box there. This is what it looks like when it's installed on the side. Next I'm going to push this back in and install the D-rings on the back side for the turnbuckles. The two D-rings that go on the back for the turnbuckles are just as quick and easy to put on as those first two were. So the turnbuckles, I'll start here on the drawer pull side, move my way to the back. It should take all of about 5 minutes. I got these turnbuckles in. Notice how I've got both of the hooks facing in the same direction there. This one really needs to be in that direction so that it doesn't press against the frame here. And now these are finger tight. And I'm finishing them off with a couple of turns. Doesn't need to be super tight, just needs to keep it from rattling. I'm going to drive it around for a week or so, and then if it rattles anywhere, then I'll make adjustments. Installing the deck extensions was a little tedious. It takes those 4 black small screws for the outer portion of the extensions, and then there's 6 galvanized small screws of about the same size that goes on the underside of the deck there. This is a little tedious getting these screws in here because the tolerances were off, as you can see here. On the driver's side, this was really difficult to get this screw started. I ended up using a dead blow hammer to hit that sheet metal where that arrow shows there, which it allowed the extension to move over far enough so I could catch that screw in there. Otherwise, if I hadn't been able to do that, I'd have ended up having to drill out a portion of the extension. Okay, now for the fun part. I've got to get under here to install the last 3 screws on those extensions for that deck. There's going to be 6 of them, 3 for each side. I'm going to take this video away. I'll be back. But you know how it goes. Yeah, it's going to be some unsteady camera work here. So I got the 3 screws in there, and it wasn't as difficult as I thought, but it was a little bit of a confined space. However, the place that you run into trouble here is trying to use a screwdriver on this one because of this this stabilizer up here. or whatever you want to call this brace to add strength to that top deck is going to be in your way a little bit, but you can still do it. Next will be the drawer stop. Something to know about this drawer stop, I would have installed this sooner. I would have installed it the same time that I installed the D-rings for the turnbuckles. What I would have done is left the box extended past the door seal there and then propped something under this fully extended drawer box so I could install that with the regular screwdriver, because the stubby screwdriver required to screw that in from that position there doesn't fit the screw heads as well as a smaller screwdriver. So that's what I would have done differently. Overall, I think this took something like 2 minutes. All right, going to put this drawer divider in here. I'm going to set it over off to the driver's side just a little bit. There can be approximately 1 inch deviation in one direction or the other. It's not much, but I'm going to go ahead and offset it to this side over here, driver's side. It looks like the only place I may have a problem getting the nuts in will be these two sections here. We'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, I was able to make that work. Let's see if I can get some better light on this. There's a screw here that doesn't use a nut. This is threaded into the frame here. And then this one here, and that one there have to use that nut. It's got a locking nut on it. The way I was able to get this one in the back, I just got a piece of duct tape down there. I can get my finger through on the other side, but it just wasn't enough to hold it. But this works. Okay, just about finished. The only thing that seems like it's missing a screw here for the middle support of this. So if you've got stuff banging around in there, even though there's an angle on it, I still think it would bend it. So I'm going to go grab a rivet. Hopefully I got a short rivet and I can get one in there. All right, there we go. Rivets in place. Now this can take quite a beating across there and not have to worry about this getting pushed out at some point. All right, done. Next to install will be the D-ring lashing points onto the deck if you decide to use them. Yeah, just noticing I'm trying to screw these locking screws in for these top D-rings. As soon as I get about the first real turn, this gets really tight and it feels like there's something going on with the threads. And then right here, that second or third twist, it feels misthreaded, like all of them do. I just did it to all of them. They all feel that way. I'm going to go check them for something else. Okay, so I went ahead and got these started, and then what I'm doing, I think what I see in there is some of the this coating in there, or whatever they painted this with, is down in there. Because if I work the threads like this, it's going down in there. That, or I'm completely cross-threading this. Alright, it'll get to that point where I was just at there, and it feels like, oh man, I just stripped it out, and then I can't go anymore. So I think it's going to be alright. Next thing to install will be this carpet. This carpet has these cutouts that are for the D-rings that are used on the deck here. If you're going to use those D-rings, go ahead and remove those cutouts before you install the carpet on the deck, because once the tabs are in place, they'll be difficult to remove, and you're better off cutting it out now, because you'll need a sharp knife or a pair of scissors to finish cutting it out before it's installed. That way you don't cut up your finish on your deck. It takes just a few minutes to do this. You lay it in place. As far as I could tell, there was no directions on the carpet itself. I think I could have put it in there in facing in either direction. I think it looks like everything's cut out to be the same there across it. And then I installed those tabs. I tapped them in with a dead blow mallet. That's all for the installation. Just to go over everything that's been installed. The D-rings for the turnbuckles have been installed on the sides. The turnbuckles were installed. The drawer stop, the drawer divider, the deck extensions, the D-rings for the deck, and the carpet that covers the deck. Overall, the project took probably an hour. Stand by for the review. I'll start off the review here with some specifications. The product is designed for Generation 5 4RUNNERs. It's made in the United States. All 16 gauge steel construction. It's powder coated. 119 pounds with an open frame for weight reduction. It also offers great ventilation throughout the drawer. The drawer glides have a 250 pound capacity, and then as seen in these photos here, the key lock features an anti-drill countermeasure, and it has a 3-point latch which should offer a certain amount of resistance to an attempted break-in. Let me quickly go over this drawer stop. Got to pull back on the drawer a little bit to relieve the pressure on it. Push the stop in, and then the drawer will freely move backwards. It's a real simple system. Just press it in, and the drawer will close. While traveling several times, items blocked the drawer from closing. I thought it was something on the inside, but it wasn't. It was either an oxygen cylinder that was being kept between the drawer unit and the back seats there, or an object had fallen down in behind that frame where the arrow shows there. If the drawer fails to close on you, you might want to check there real quick. That's probably where your problem is. Let's take a look inside the drawer box, but first let's start with the video that I made when I was installing this. I want to be able to put these large ammo boxes in here. The carpet is just thick enough to take up this amount of space here. So if I try to close the drawer, I can't with the carpet in that came with it. If I take the carpet away, it just clears it by about, maybe about a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm not going to put this carpet in. I'll find some kind of alternative liner to go in there that's thinner. These larger ammo boxes measure 7 1/4 inches wide, 12 7/8 inches long by 9 inches high. To address the height issue that was caused by the carpet that came with this storage drawer, I got some of this shelf liner from Costco and installed that, and as you can tell, it reduced the height enough so that I can use those large ammo boxes. Something important to note about these large ammo boxes, the frame can catch the handle on the ammo box and push it up so that it will block the drawer from opening. So you need to be able to use something like a Slim Jim to be able to get behind it and then slide that thing forward so it will push that handle back down there. Make sure that you leave enough space, like where that green bag is there, so that you'll still have enough room to get your hand in there and manipulate that handle so you can open that drawer. If not, it might get caught and you won't be able to move it. So make sure you leave enough space. The next thing to address is what can fit in these drawers. In this segment here, you can see that there are 4 of those larger ammo boxes. On the right-hand side of those 2 are the smallest ammo boxes that I've ever seen. I have those loaded in there. And then right up to the front, you can see one of those small plastic ammo boxes. Just wanted to load that up so you can get an idea of what type of ammo boxes might fit in there. The next example I have here is an AR-15. It's a 16-inch barrel with the stock retracted. It won't fit lengthwise there in the box, but it will fit crossways. But you'd have to remove that divider and come up with an alternative divider system if you wanted to use it like that. Up next is a 36-inch Halligan tool. Just like the AR-15, it won't fit lengthwise in the drawer, but it would fit in there across the drawer. If you're considering using this for EMS, 4E Echo cylinders can be placed side by side in there. If desired, they can be stacked, so you can have a total of 8 on this side the way that it's divided. Here's the deck portion of the drawer system. Not much to say about it. It's pretty spacious when you can extend all the way across there. These D-rings here, and if you look at their placement here, there, and there, they're pretty limited. I don't know if I want D-rings going all the way across the deck here, but probably would use one of those track systems down through the sides. You want to keep in mind that you don't want to put any track system on this because this isn't stable enough to really start cinching on. It'll probably pull the screws out. They're really small. I keep a fire extinguisher on here, and it's a 5-pounder. Remember, if you're going to put a fire extinguisher in your vehicle, you need to make sure that you're using a bracket that's designed for use in a vehicle. If you're using something that's not designed for use in a vehicle, you could end up with a projectile inside there if you get in a car accident. So make sure that you pay really close attention to that. Yeah, not much to mention about the deck here. The other 2 items that I have in the vehicle with me all the time on this is my triage bag for mass casualty incidents and just a small A bag. And it's just for my everyday carry there. You can see how they fit. Here are a couple of items you might want to store in the drawer for camping or that off-road trip into the woods or desert. On the left is a UST Flexware collapsible sink. It measures 18 inches long by 13.5 inches wide. The Coleman 2-burner stove will not fit as shown with the center divider in place. It will fit lengthwise as shown in this image with room to spare for other cooking items or gas bottles. Load-bearing kit shown on the deck is the classic medium Alice ruck with about 2,500 cubic inches of capacity. The more modern Molly 2 medium ruck with a 3,000 cubic inch capacity and a small everyday carry type pack with a 669 cubic inch capacity. For the emergency responder on the deck is a 36-inch Halligan that is flush on the backside with a 2.5 to 3 inch overhang on the fork end. It would work well mounted across the deck section, but it's not going to work very well as shown in the photograph there. A turnout coat, a Phoenix helmet, and every firefighter's favorite item to slog around, a water can. Here's another one for those of you who may be thinking about using this to outfit your unit for EMS. On the deck, it's spread out. I might stack this, but it's spread out so that you can see how much floor space that you've got there on the deck with these kits that you might be using in your unit. On the left here, there's a reel splint tucked back in there. Next is the Dynamed mega medic bag. Next to that is a small shoulder bag I got somewhere, and it's got BVMs in it. Next to that is a Dynamed O2 bag that's for D cylinders. That holds all of our oxygen delivery equipment like nasal cannulas, non-rebreathers, tubing. And then next to that I have my basic first aid kit and a triage bag below that. Moving next to the fire extinguisher there is a Foxtrot litter. And then next to that is a Dynamed Maxi medic bag. Hope this gives you a view of what you might be able to do with this if you're trying to outfit an EMS unit. Okay, gonna wrap this video up. The cons. The deck D-ring usefulness is pretty limited in my experience. The powder coat seems to be thin and is easily damaged. There's no divider configuration option. Long items such as an AR-15 or Halligan cannot be used with the center divider as designed. And then I was going to go on a rant about the Central Freight Shipping Company about the horrible experience, so you could find another option, but they've gone out of business since I placed my order, and after my experience, it's easy to understand why. The pros of this unit are the price. It's affordable compared to other custom systems. It's made in the USA. It's easy to install. The drawer and frame build and material quality is good. It functions well as designed. The drawer glides are smooth when the drawer box is loaded. The lock mechanism is easy to operate and feels secure when locked. The drawer stop is easy to operate. It will store what I consider essential items. It's easy to reconfigure depending on my needs. Overall, after 5 months service, I'm happy with the performance. Can't find anything else in my notes. If I come up with something else, of course, it'll be in my blog. That's all for this video. Look for videos in the future about what inventory is kept in the ammo boxes and other storage containers shown in this video. This is Unit 13. I'm out.
Light Force and Rescue 26 Chastain, 2533 Washington Boulevard. Rescue 857 to the assault, 2046 at Manchester Avenue.